All right, Johnny the Dreamchaser. What's going on, my man?
What's going on?
How you been?
My brother. What's going on, Johnny? My brothers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's going on?
First time meeting you. What you been on, bro? What you been on?
I just want to let y'all know I got a show coming up on March 10th.
March 10th.
March 10th is gonna be at Nassau Community College at 7:00. You know, make sure y'all be there. I'm gonna let y'all know more detail and infos. You know, shit like that along the way. So I'm gonna announce it on my social media and shit.
March 10th?
Yeah, March 10th.
March 10th, 7:00, Nassau Community College.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we're gonna turn up, have a good time. Good vibes all around.
You know the vibes,
you know the vibes.
Oh, yes, sir.
All day.
So you gonna be performing?
Yeah.
You gonna be rapping? Hell yeah.
You got material and everything prepared and stuff?
Yeah, I already got enough. I got cause I'm starting off with something real with a song that's real soulful to me and like something that's really like in a way reflects my journey in a sense, but also I think at the same time too, it's gonna be something real like raw from within,
the heart.
And then after that, I'm just
you bringing energy and everything.
Oh yeah. Like the same energy y'all get in them videos. Like I'm giving that literally 1,000%.
Live in it. Yeah, I can't wait, bro.
And it's gonna be on college radio, so I'm bringing my A game in this motherfucker. I'm bringing my A game in this motherfucker.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's a big move.
Y'all know me because I do my shit all the way.
Of course.
No fucking around. Yeah, no fucking around. Oh yeah. So you a local legend, bro. You've been at this for a long time. So tell me about the humble beginnings, bro. Where'd you start off?
Well, to begin with, you know, I was always just like just a regular kid, you know what I'm saying? Because I grew up in a very religious household and shit, you know, and I was always just like, you know, just trying to like figure shit out along the way and shit. So, you know, I think like my teacher, my elementary school music teacher, she like really introduced me to music, like, and I wasn't like really rapping in the beginning, and I think, you know, I was just like really listening to a lot of like different vibes as far as like, you know, I would listen to like, I didn't grow up, like I would listen to a lot of rock and roll, not like the Guns N' Roses, but I grew up around like Fall Out Boys, the Panic at the Discos, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Gym class shows who will forever be one of my favorite.
Travis McCoy.
Yeah, Travis McCoy.
He can rap, bro.
No, listen, he can rap. He's incredible. Like he's incredible.
He
like
MC for real.
Yeah, like no, like he like I think, and I think like their albums don't get enough credit as they deserve.
I agree.
They don't get enough credit as they deserve because they were like really like to me they introduced like rock and rap into me, like to me. I mean, even though like Run DMC, I'm pretty sure Run DMC did it before that, but like I think they really introduced me to it, and I was like
for this generation.
Yeah, like this generation, it became like one of the greatest things. Like to me, like I like because my favorite album I think from that is Cool as School, Children and shit. Yeah, that's like my favorite. And Paper Cut Chronicles too, I think.
Yeah, Paper Cut goes in.
Yeah, and so I like that shit. Like it's always like inspired me to like, you know, take my own vibe. And then, you know, I think, you know, growing up, I was always like just playing the drums, and like, you know, I even played in church and shit. And then I think, like, you know, one day, like, you know, I was like I wasn't fully, and I was sort of like thinking about like doing rapping and shit, like in like somewhere in the middle. Because I was like, I don't know if I can really do this, because I was like, I don't know if I was really like good enough for this type of shit. So it just became like more of I was just more like, you know, playing around, just seeing what I could do, but people like really fucked with it. So, I mean, to my surprise, because I didn't even know like it was gonna be this like massive. So it was just like, you know, like okay, maybe like, because at first I was still just like playing around, but I think when I really wanted to do it, I think it was like when I was like doing like different, like when I was like people were like really fucking with my shit. So I was like, maybe I could do this.
You could do it, yeah. Keep going.
So it was like, yeah.
So you said you grew up in a religious household. So did you were you a choir boy at all?
I played the drums, but I never was like choir.
Okay,
got you. Like I never really did like shit like that. But
did your family like take notice of like your musical prowess from like an early age?
Yeah, they did. They did. But my mom was sort of like, she wanted me to do like she wanted me to sort of take the realistic vibe and like, you know, sort of do that. You know, so.
Well, she wants you to get like a 9 to 5.
Yeah, like sort of like a 9 to 5. You know, like an office job, but I feel like it's not really like no disrespect to anyone who does it. Absolutely. But I just feel like for me, I think I see more for myself.
Absolutely.
And the people around me, of course.
Absolutely.
I mean, you got to fulfill the need to make art, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's what you need to do. Yeah.
You Johnny the Dreamchaser, bro. Exactly. You gotta fulfill that, yo. So what exactly, like, how exactly did Valley like influence your rapping style? Talk to me about the comeuppance at Valley Stream South High School.
Okay, so that began, I think I started like, I was like just rapping at like random places, like people would like ask me like, you know, like to freestyle for them and little shit, shit like that. You know, and I was just like, you know, I would be freestyling like, you know, and I was always just like thinking of shit. And then I think the first time I ever really performed, and Eric and Jordan know this more than anyone because when we did the junior dinner shit, and it was back in like 2014, I think it was 14 or something.
Wow, 6 years.
And it was like, so it was like 6 years, and you know, I thought they were just like, cause like people, like when I came through, I got so much love, and it was still one of the craziest nights ever, but like I went in, people started hitting me up like, yo, Johnny, you gonna rap, you gonna do this, you gonna do that. I was like, yeah, whatever. But I joked it off.
Right.
Keep in mind, I'm thinking like they just fucking with me. I'm like, yeah, they don't want to hear me rap. Because in my mind, like, we just here, we just chilling, you know what I'm saying? It don't have to be like everything like crazy and shit. And then, like, they still kept asking me like, yo, you gonna rap, you gonna do this, you gonna do that. I said, yeah, so, and I think like when one of like our class advisors hit me up, he said like, yo, I think you should rap for the class. And then I was like, oh, this is real? Oh, like, y'all for real? Like, y'all for real with this? And I was just like, oh, I was like, yeah. And like, keep in mind, I had no material down.
Right.
I had no, and once again, it's still like trash around the time. But I think I started to like really like tap into like, you know, a more lyrical vibe with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. So, and then and I wrote my verse in like 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Wow.
3 minutes. I wrote my verse in 3 minutes.
Wow.
Literally just thinking of like good shit to say, and I was like, okay. I wrote it, and I had like a mini iPod at the time, and it was like half a battery, so I had to like just write shit quick. So I was like,
oh man.
I'm just like writing. I'm just thinking this shit like off the dome, like literally like on the paper.
So you had to work under pressure right there. Right?
Yeah, like that was like my first time. Like I had no raw material. Like I was literally just like. I literally was like a thing, like it was like a thing on my feet kind of
pulling out of thin air.
Yeah, like literally, I had to think of shit, and then like I went in, and it just like, and then like everyone went crazy.
Yeah.
I bodied that shit.
Yeah, crazy. Wow.
That's the thing, bro. A lot of people want to rap, you know what I mean? A lot of people try to rap, but they don't bring the presence and they don't bring the heart that you brought, bro. And that's why people believed in you, bro. And that's why people still believe in you.
I appreciate that, cause I thought to myself like I was already gonna back out. I thought I was gonna back out from this shit. I said, nah, I'm good. But then I think like the back of my head was like if you really committed like you claim to be, like you get your ass on there. So
absolutely, you gotta go for it. And wow, so was that like your first real performance?
Yeah, that was like just acapella. It wasn't even a beat at the time.
There was no beat.
Yeah, like I was just word for word, just me vibing, like, you know, maybe if I can get the crowd to say it, like, to react to this shit. And
feel
then,
the energy.
Yeah, and I even had, like, a couple, like, and I also wanted to write a couple bars, like, maybe, like, a couple, like, good schemes I had overhead.
Yeah.
And it was just, like, you know, people was just, like, oh, like, this kid's crazy. Like, and people, like, I think that's when, like, I really started, like, my name started, like, really spreading. Like, it was really spreading. Like, it was crazy.
Word. And aside from, like, the lyrical prowess that you have like a lot of natural charisma as well, you know, so that's like a very important aspect that that rappers, like, you know, people who want to rap, they just kind of ignore that as well. Yeah, like they just don't have that like impeccable charisma that you have like a very personable like approach to it. Like, you know, I feel like this is the first time I'm meeting you, and like you know, I already feel like I'm gravitating towards you because you just bring like a really good vibe, really good energy.
That's right. You know, I think,
and it translates into the music.
Yeah.
Perfectly, bro. It's so authentic to you and your energy. Bro.
That's right. Bro. And I just think for me, like you know, just being like where like I've been through and shit personally in my personal life and shit, like honestly, this is the one thing I'm really like genuinely good at. I can't front. Like, I'm pretty ballsy at the gym, but other than that, but like on other times, like I just be like, you know, like this is really all I know, to be honest. Like,
yeah, totally.
And, you know, like, and some people like I've got a lot of like flag for it, you know, in the past, but you know, I mean, I'm used to, like I've been used to that.
Comes with the territory.
Yeah, but it comes with the territory, so it's like, in a way, it's like sort of like a superpower at times. Like sometimes, like you don't know who like to genuinely trust. And, like, sometimes you got to be, like, you know, you got to be able to trust. Because, obviously, I trust you guys, obviously, without a doubt. But I think sometimes, like, when you peek behind the curtain and, like, you know, when you see, like, where you coming up and then, like, people start looking at you funny and people being like,
and move a little walkie.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. So that's why it's like I'm just sort of like, you know, I stay in my own bag and I do, and I try to support everyone as I can, because I don't. And that's why, and that's sort of like where like my energy comes from, because I don't really like look at, like when people tell me some shit, I don't really look at them a certain way. I just be like, oh, that's what's up. Like I really that's how I really approach life. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's really for me how I do, how I roll.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell someone where to go and where to go through next. You know what I'm saying? Because anyone can get their shit done however they can get it.
Exactly. Everyone's trying to figure it out.
Yeah, everyone's trying to figure it out. So like it's just like I just find it really corny at times too. Like when people are like, oh, you gotta find out, like, you know, well, you gotta do this. Oh, but I think you also should do this. It's like, yo, let them. Like I think it's like let them do their tunnel vision shit. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm on that. Yeah, you know the vibe. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know the vibes. Like, you know, like let them do their own shit. Like it doesn't have to be like a one straight like forward thing. You know what I'm saying? Like some people get it however they get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's gonna be some twists and turns and a whole bunch of different ways to get it. There's never just one straight path.
Yeah. And I don't roll like that. So that I think for me like whatever you do in general, like I must just support it. All I can do is support it. I can't really say much. I'd be like, I mean, I may have an opinion about it, but like I can't tell you like, oh, you got to do this or do this. Like I just think do whatever is for you. And even if you make it, and if you get up to the top, I'm gonna be there for you.
Yeah.
If you're not, and if you don't, I'm still here. So
someone you remind me of is like, you know, Weezy be talking a lot like that when it comes to like Drake and Young Money and stuff.
Exactly,
and you know, I know you were saying you were inspired by like Miss Kister from school, and
100%.
you know, you were inspired by like the choir, you know, the church and all that kind of stuff. But like, you know, going with Weezy, who else are some of your influences when it comes to like, you know, your music?
Definitely Eminem. I can't lie. I think Eminem is definitely like he's really got me through like my. Like, because he was definitely like one of the first rappers I ever started officially listening to, and it was like the Recovery album back in like 2010 and shit, and it was like in a way like his whole story is like no excuses and shit, and it's like to me that was like so like because I didn't know necessarily who he was until like the Forever shit came out, and that was like a big hit, and it still is to this day like one of the hardest verses like to ever hit like ever, like it was crazy. And then, you know, what? But you know, like it was one of the hardest verses ever, and like it really inspired me to be like damn, maybe shit. Let me give this a shot. Let me see where this goes. So you know, I mean, but like I said, like when I was a kid, I didn't know if I could do it or not. But I was like, man, just a thing, like these dudes, I can think of it off the top. But when I learned you could write it, it was a whole different vibe. So I was like, oh shit, all right, so. I can definitely do this. So.
That's where you got most of your pen game?
Yeah, 100%. And I think also Jonah Luke is definitely, I think, someone.
Oh, that's like someone newer that's been influencing you?
100%. Yeah, Kendrick, Cole.
So you really go for like a whole lyrical vibe.
But I also listen to like, you know, like the Baby, Post Malone. I also like I stretch out. Like it's not like I like to listen to different shit. Like, you know, like I'm the type to like just bump like some J. Cole in the car, but then I'll listen to like some country music like 10 minutes later and shit. I'll listen to some country music 10 minutes later. So I take my shit from like various art forms, because music is like, it's the universal language. So I don't really see it as like, I don't discriminate it as like, oh, this is like, I'm fuck with this, but like, I mean, if it's trash, I mean, I'm gonna be straight up. But like, other than that, but like, if I fuck with it, it's dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It is what it is.
Oh yeah.
What kind of country music you be bumping? Like Blake Shelton?
Yeah, but I can't like Blake Shelton. I can't remember. It was definitely Blake Shelton. Florida Georgia Line.
Florida
Georgia Line.
Word.
Yo, tell me how I was in this Buffalo Wild Wings right by Green Acres on Thursday, right? Because it's BOGO Boneless, right? And I hear that collab with Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani.
Oh,
yo.
You know what I'm
talking about?
I know, yo. Honestly, sometimes I'll be like I'm rooting for them. I'm like, they better get married. I was watching the TV. I was really watching it. I was like flipping through MTV and shit, and I'm like, oh man, they better get married.
They better get married.
Like Blake, you better wipe that bitch up.
Put a ring on that.
You better put a ring on it, my nigga. Cause when I blow up, fam, I'm taking that spot. I'm taking that spot, fam.
Oh, God.
I'm letting you know. And I love Gwen Stefani, by the way.
Yo, that was my first crush ever.
Man.
Like in life, that was my first crush ever.
It was crazy. I mean,
Fun
I just
fact,
love
bro.
that. It was crazy. But yeah, I was like, but they're like, they go great together. Like in my personal opinion, they go great.
Right.
Yeah.
So going back to the talks of Eminem, what's your favorite Eminem album? If you had to choose, he got an expansive discography.
Damn, that's a good one. I would say, I mean, definitely Recovery, because that's where it inspired me to start.
True.
I would also say Revival. I think fairly, because I don't think Revival got a fair shot. I think because people like just took the narrative and like fucking flipped it, and it was like, oh, this shit is trash. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. I was like, I'm listening to him, I'm like, it's not that bad. I just think it was like he could have had like maybe a few more rappers in, like a Royce the 5'9", who's also one of my favorite. Royce the 5'9".
You like Bad Meets Evil?
Yeah, 100%. I still listen to that. I still listen to it.
You know
to
Fastlane?
Fastlane, Welcome to Hell.
Yeah.
Fucking Loud Noises, Slaughterhouse
up in this bitch.
A Kiss, fucking Lighters, which is like
with Bruno Mars.
Yeah,
right?
that's a motivational.
Yeah.
That's a motivational song for me. I think personally, because that's like really like when I hear it, it's like like when I'm going to the gym, I'm just writing rhymes. I'm just like it gives me that motivation. So, but yeah, those two are like, because those two to me are like one of the illest MCs in Detroit.
Absolutely.
Period. Like you can't, like you're not gonna top those dudes anytime. And like even when I was listening like to Music to Be Murdered By, like niggas was like on another level. And then like so that was definitely like a very inspiration, like various inspirations. And I would also say like if I had to choose another one, I would say obviously Hove, like the Blueprint 3 was like, to me was a classic. I think. True. Because that shit was just like, it was out of here. It was out of here.
Out of this world.
It was out of here. It's crazy.
So out of some of your favorite rappers, who would your dream collab be?
Well, definitely Kendrick.
Definitely Kendrick.
Definitely Cole. Drake. I like to get a Biggie verse. I really like to get a Biggie verse.
That would be crazy.
I think a Biggie verse would definitely seal the deal for me. And I would say maybe French Montana too. French Montana, mix it up a little bit. Let's go. And I guess like also Post Malone in The Weeknd.
What's like a non-hip hop affiliated artist that you would want to collab with? Anyone, country, pop, rock?
I like BB Rexa. I can't lie. BB Rexa, she's fire. She's very fire. I fuck with her shit a lot.
You like that song, Me, Myself, and I?
Yeah, Me, Myself, and I. Oh yeah. I also like to work with G-Eazy, and I think and Ty Dolla $ign, who I think he's a genius. Like I think because when I've listened to his first album, like Free TC, like if you haven't listened to it, like listen to it. Like that shit is like, that's like a whole nother level of like genius thought, and like even though it sounds basic, but like if you really listen to the sonics and like it's out of here.
Right.
Like even like just the opening song is just like so like massive on like he's got the strings playing. He's got the
it's
band,
such a very grand level.
Yeah, such a grand level. Yeah, and that's sort of like the vibe I'm trying to be on, especially I think for me.
Like a really larger than life.
Yeah, like a larger than life kind of vibe and shit. Because I think. Because I always want to, because you know what I mean, I'm always trying to perfect my craft to the highest level and shit.
Absolutely.
But also, like, I also want to, like, add, like, something real to it and something raw and genuine to it. Because if it ain't genuine, it ain't good for me.
Yeah, you got to keep it true to you.
Yeah, keep it true. Yeah. And of course, like, and of course, like, if it's just, like, just, like, if an artist having fun and shit, I can definitely get down with that, too. Well, 100%.
Word.
100%, so.
Besides the church and like the artists you listen to, do you have any like local influence that you take from? Like anybody like playing drums in band or something like that? Like
definitely Lunar Space. Obviously, I mean, obviously.
Kyle Miller.
Kyle Miller. No, because I've seen his shit. It's crazy. It's crazy. He's dope. Arnie Man the Plug. Arnie, that's my boy. Shout out my boy Arnie.
Yes, sir. Another OG.
100%. Like he's done his own thing out here, and like like, because me and him, we were sort of like coming up on the same sort of sound the same vibe and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like in a way, like, you know, like people will call us like the Cole and Kendrick, or like the Mook and Lux of this of like Valley Street.
Valley,
and shit.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it
the
would,
OGs
like,
of this.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like it would be like, yeah. And I definitely want to do a song with him, of course, as well. So
absolutely. Oh my God,
Oof,
that would be crazy. Yeah.
It's gonna be vibe.
So talking about that song with Arnie, when is your first official track dropping, Johnny?
This
that's what
we all want to know.
It's coming
this
this spring like / summer, because I'm trying to figure out what I can do like as far as the recording time and shit like that. But I definitely want to do it this summer. Like I'm putting out music this
bro.
summer.
You got to document it right
here.
here.
I'm putting out music this motherfucking summer.
Let's go.
On everything, bro. And like, and I think also with the album, I think it's gonna be like a whole, like it's gonna be like me, but it's gonna be on like more mature, but definitely give it like the old school Johnny, like, you know, just killing shit and like just, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna be on the flows, the lyrics,
the flows,
energy,
lyrics,
the
vibes and everything, and like just like even like personal experiences, and of course like I want to make music that people can relate to, because I know there's people out there like me who feel how I feel, who think the way I think, and I think also just like people who approach life to like the sort of like the way I do, but also like people who may have like different ideas and shit like that. Like that's who I want to influence.
True.
Like I want to influence the next Johnny the Dreamchaser, the next Lunar Space, the next, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, any way I can help, you know, like, you know, I'm with it.
Absolutely. Spread the seed.
Absolutely. I wasn't there for the come up at South. Obviously, I went to North. So like that's one of the things I regret, like not going to South for. So it's like I missed out on the rise of Johnny the Dreamchaser. But and since you haven't dropped an official track yet, I just want to know, like, what's like your favorite things to write about?
Honestly, it could just be, I feel like it can be anything, like even down to my videos and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just be writing like, you know, different vibes and shit. Like I always catch like different like pockets and different beats. So like for me, it always just, like for me, like almost like any song could be a moment in time and shit, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, like I could just like pick anything. Like I could literally just write like if I was given a beat, like I could just like think off the top of my head. But also if I have like, cause sometimes I also have like lines that I think like, oh, if that's hot, like I'm gonna write it down. Like I'll jot it down. Like, and like I have like a whole like list of lines like I've always kept in, like, you know,
like the arsenal.
Yeah, and I kept in the arsenal, and like, you know, kept it like I want to say for the actual songs and shit, because I don't want to like use it on like just regular verses. I want to actually use this on a song to be like, oh shit, like I didn't know he would say that. Like,
yeah. I mean, your freestyles alone are really, like, you're really good at encapsulating like what you're feeling and, you know, what you're trying to express in that moment. You know what I mean? It's really true to how you're feeling.
A lot of artists like struggle with that. I struggle with that. I'm pretty sure
I struggle with that. Yeah, you know, the expression is so tough being an artist. You know what I mean? It's hard to find that balance. But you already, since you've been doing this, is you always just had, you know, you've been there, you're doing it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And I just think for me, like, whenever like whatever like just comes to me, it comes to me. You know what I'm saying? And even though sometimes I've had writer's block before, and like I've just had like you know, I've had like, you know, different, like sometimes I do like, you know, just like try to get inspiration even from you guys, like even just seeing you guys grind, and like, and then I was like, man, like okay, like I gain a lot of like competitive, like, but not only competitive, but really like raw energy from that.
So, to keep momentum going.
To keep
build. Because it's inspiring when you see other people, especially locals, doing things.
Yeah, especially.
You know what I mean? Of course, like sometimes, you know, I see you drop a freestyle video, I'm like, damn, like I need to get
better.
I need to get working.
It's always hard.
I'm like, bro,
I've never seen a bad Johnny the Dreamchaser freestyle.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
You know, the empty folder.
Yeah,
it doesn't exist.
That's an oxymoron. Bad and Johnny the Dreamchaser freestyle.
I appreciate that, man.
Yo, so like you've been at this for a long time now. So a lot of people, like, they would eventually like give up. What's kept you going for so long?
I just think I just feel just the feeling of like just being able to say what I want, and I feel like, you know, and there were times where I was almost like, man, I don't know if I like this is like, cause I've definitely been at that point where I'm like, I don't know if this is for me anymore, like at this point. But I think at the same time too, it was like, I mean, I already came so far, so like for like that, for me to like just give up on myself and then the people who believed in me all this time, like it just doesn't make sense. So I think at the same time, I just wanted to like really, like it's because I've definitely hit those kind of those bumps in the road.
Definitely.
Like you know, it's definitely been like a couple hardships along the way, and it's never easy. It's never easy, like you know. But I think at the same time too, like if you're just dedicated, you're just dedicated, and like if you really just like if it gives you that kind of, because it just gives me that kind of feeling I never really got at anything else.
Absolutely. I totally relate. Yeah, totally.
And it's like, it's sort of like adrenaline for me, and it's like damn, like because I could say what I want, I do what I want. I don't have to.
You're your own boss.
Basically. And like if I don't like to say it on this, I could just, you know, I can just rewrite it again. I literally can do whatever I want. But also like, you know, like I'm just the own puppeteer with my own pen and shit. Like I can just like, you know, say what I want. Like, okay, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I can say this. You know what I mean? And it's definitely just been like it's definitely been a wild ride. But for the most part, I think it's important for me to just be able to, you know, to keep going, like just to keep going, because I just focus on like more like the end game. I don't really focus on like,
you're looking at the big picture.
Yeah, I'm looking at the overall big picture.
You know, it's so important. Yeah, it's so important, especially for a style you're trying to you know, infiltrate and take over. That's important, bro. It's important.
100%. And like, you know, like I just do it, you know, for myself because it makes me happy. Because one, it really makes me happy, and you know, obviously for you guys, my family and shit. Because, you know, after this, you know, I just go with the talents that God gives me, really.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, so.
How so from when you started to now, right? How have you continued to develop your talents? Like, what are some of the things you practice and exercise to, you know, be the lyrical genius that you are, and the perfectionist of flows? You know what I mean? What are some of the things you do?
I try to pay attention to like the beat and like just as far as the rate and the speed it goes in. So like maybe like I can go at a very fast rate. I could really rap fast. Or sometimes I also just want to like when I hear it and like I catch a vibe, and then like sometimes I'll hear the song, and then sometimes I'll be like, oh, like okay, this is like okay, maybe I could say some. Maybe I'll say this. Like I just try to catch the vibe, and I try to also practice like as far as like even when I'm fast rapping a lot, and then like I could just like take breaths, but then I can speed up again. I'll take a pause, but I'll speed up again. You know what I mean? That type of shit. So it's definitely been so I always just try to, you know, improve my craft, but also keep it as real as I possibly can to the highest level.
Yeah.
So I think that's very important, because I don't want to just like you know, be some like robot rapper like just coming out like just like saying shit like just randomly saying like just saying a bunch of shit. Like I at least want to be able to, you know, like, you know, like just like I just want to I just want to be able to, you know, not only perfect my craft but also just keep it as genuine, because I
still
think
convey your
message.
Still convey your message while you know hitting all those you know cadences and being in the pocket and shit like that.
And I also try to drop like a couple like some gems here and there, I think also like from my personal experience. I think that's just more important than anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the end of the day, so
absolutely. And so I know as of recently, you performed you did a freestyle for Futuristic, right? Yo, tell me about that, bro. How was that? You know, what gave you the courage to just go up there and be like, I gotta do this for Futuristic?
That was crazy because I went to the show. And you know, my homie Chase, you know, he also runs like a bunch of like artists that comes through, so you know, he was just there, and you know, I was just having a good time. I was just vibing, you know, and like you know, and then he stopped the show and he was like, yo guys, you know, I love to give like MCs a chance to really showcase their talent and shit. And I said like my antenna went, my animal instincts was like, oh, real.
This is where lose yourself.
Like this is I thought to myself, I was like,
if
okay,
you had one chance,
if I had opportunity, yo, bro, and then he's like, yo, whoever wants to come up, whoever got the guts to do it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you guys have been so talented. I know this is probably some potential. I see some potential here. I see some potential MCs in the building. So next thing I know, I just think to myself, I'm like, okay, all right, and my bad. So like, you know, he just hit me, I was like, yo, like you guys, like, you know, I see a lot of potential for MCs. So who wants to come up first? And I said, all right, be careful what you wish for. And I just went up there, be careful what you wish for. And then I mean, the rest was just
bro, no funny shit. Not even just the gas you, bro. That freestyle was stupid, bro. Stupid.
Like,
we gonna post the video. We gonna post the video. Bro, that shit was stupid.
I couldn't, no, but honestly, when I walked off, I couldn't believe I did that. I even if I saw this myself, like, I wouldn't believe I did it. I wouldn't believe I did it. Like, I was just like I walked off and I was like, what did I just do? I was like, what the fuck did I just do? Like, it was so crazy. I was still in shock that I even did that, but more so, like, it was just like, I just blacked out from there. I just blacked out from there, and it was just like,
where was this?
Oh, no, that's on community college. It was
okay.
Yeah, so, like, I was just there, and then, like, you know, like, and he tore the fucking place down. And then you know, and then after I dropped the mic, like, he literally had to shock his face. I even had his DJ, and like, I watch back the video sometimes, like I even had his DJ was like, oh shit, like his DJ was like in the background, he's like, oh, this nigga, like he's really serious. Like it was still like one of the, I'm still on like part of me is still on like cloud 9 from that shit. Like, I could not believe
that was unreal, bro. Because I wasn't there, but just from watching that video, like, I felt like I was there with you. I felt like I had just performed, like, all of that emotion, bro. I felt all of that,
I couldn't believe that shit, and he just like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I literally just walked out like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I literally just thought like, what the fuck did I do? And I was like, it was just so crazy, and
that's an unreal moment.
Oh, I couldn't believe that, and then I think that was like man, like. Damn, like I was in shock. Like, I literally was driving home. I was like, damn, like, shit, like.
You felt mad big, and
I was like, did I just blow up? I was like, did I just blow up for a second?
I'm about to hit the gym. I'm about to put up 225.
Oh my god, I couldn't believe that shit. It was incredible. It was incredible.
Yeah,
like, it was like, that was like completely unexpected. But I think at the same time too, I was so like, I feel like I was so ready for that shit at the same time too. So
good, yeah. So, damn, you gotta have that confidence. So your upcoming show at NASA March 10th. This is your second performance there?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow.
So I'm very excited to, you know, just perform for y'all live and just, you know, really have a good time. And of course, there's gonna be other acts, but I think, you know, I mean, I'm not making like any gas or nothing like that. But I think what I'm about to do may help me win the competition, because it's
it's a competition.
Yeah, it's a competition, but it's also but it's a little show though, for like, you know, just for everyone to enjoy and shit.
True.
I think either or, like, just being on that stage, I don't really look at it as like, oh, if I win or if I lose. Like, I just think of it like just being on that stage is like the biggest prize for me already.
Yeah.
Honestly, on some G shit. And I know that sort of sounds like corny, because people feel like, oh, you never won anything, but it's like at the same time too, it's like I just like just being there is like,
that's the
a
win.
Blessing. That's the already the win itself. Like, just to like even be there.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, like so I just soak it all in.
Yeah.
You know, and I take it to the utmost pride, of course. So.
Word.
100%.
All right, so your Instagram and stuff like that, your Instagram be popping off. I see you got like followers and everything.
Networking,
yeah, you kill it. So like, describe your unique online networking style.
I think honestly, like, I just do like DMs mainly for the most part.
Who you be DMing?
Well, I mean, obviously these guys. Because I'll be like, yo, check this out. Like, just check this out. Like, you know, like, but I think also like, if they check it out, check it out. But if they don't, that's totally fine too. Yeah. But I think also, you know, like, cause like I always just like I was just tagging them, and like you guys are like, they know they're on my close friend list. So it's like I'm always just like, tapping them in. I'm tagging them in. I'm like, yo, check this out if you want, if you got a chance. And it's just like, you know, and I think it's sort of like really gravitated, and I think like people started like, when people started really seeing it, people was like, oh wait, hold on, you gotta check this kid out. You gotta check. So I think it's like sort of like the word of mouth sort of got spread around and shit.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I think it's sort of like, you know, I think it's been a definite. I've been lucky around, like, to, you know, not only be around for so long, but also to be able to keep moving forward, but also be able to have like still be the same like Johnny y'all knew from day one. And
absolutely,
shit.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
and maintain the same people that was like believed in you. I mean, it's the same people consistently, you know, congratulating you and
of course,
showing love, and then more because people show other people and it continues to grow, and it shows how much you've grown.
100%. And I also want to do the same thing for the people who believe in me, because I don't want it to be like just a one-sided, one-way street.
Right.
Like I want to, like, you know what I'm saying, like if y'all do something crazy, like. If, like, you know what I'm saying, like if y'all get like the baby here tomorrow, like I'm gonna be shouting y'all. I'm gonna be like I'm telling you, like will be shouting y'all out. Like I will be like, bro, like my boy, like we made it. Like no one's telling that shit anymore. Like you know what I mean. Like so I'm always gonna be there, like to support you. Like you support me, I'm gonna support you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely. You know. And it's a lot of people, what they forget is they start to neglect their fan base. You know what I mean? They don't tap in, but what you have on lock is like you're so good at reaching out to the people that fuck with you, and
it's important.
Not only that, but it just spreads, bro. It spreads like wildfire. Every time you do a post, it's there. It's hitting the home page, the explore page. It's everywhere, bro.
It's important for me.
You can't escape it, in the best way, you know what I mean?
100%, because I'm not like, one of those guys that's just like, oh, like, with a random, message. And not knock to anyone who does that, but it's like, I think for me, it's more like, like, yo, if you can check this out a second. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, I just really like, it's really me texting. It's
you're
really
not
texting.
rubbing it in your face.
I'm not like
copy and pasting.
It's really like me, like in the flesh, like really texting y'all, like yo, check this. What y'all check?
Some personal,
some personal shit, because I know what it's like to meet my favorite artist, and I know what it's like when I want to see, like, I want to be able to have like that, at least that like 5 minutes of like, like at least like, so that's where like sort of I get my energy from.
That's good. That's good.
So it's very important for me to. I think for me, it's always now more than ever for me to maintain that.
Absolutely. 100%. To bring up a good point, like, this happened to me and Eric recently. Like, this dude was like promoting like his like, I guess, brand or whatever, right? And he hit me up. He's like, yo, I was like, yo, what's good? He's like, yo, what you been on? And he was just being like, yo, he was like, yo, check out our interview that we just dropped and everything like that.
Make sure you subscribe.
Make sure you subscribe and stuff like that. And then he sent that same exact message to Eric. I was like, damn, that was just like, it seems so impersonal, one, and like two, it was just like, come on, son, you copy and paste it. At least put in a little bit of work to, like,
at that point, it's cloud chasing, bro.
It's cloud chasing.
It's not genuine, bro. No one's trying to support you with that.
Yeah, I hear you. But like I said, like, it's not, for me, it's not a knock to anyone who does it. Like, I just think for me, like, like, the interaction is very important.
It is.
Yeah, interaction is very important.
And that's good that you have that down, because not a lot of people do.
It's very important for me.
That's a very important thing to have.
To really have, like, to maintain that, because I'm never too good to talk to anyone, so it's like so imagine me like just like texting y'all and be like, hey, check this out, and like you'll just post a random link and shit. But like for me, like it has to be like sort of meaningful and shit. It has to really be something that's really like authentic. Like it's not just like me dropping a link and then all of a sudden like you just see that and then it is what it is. Like I have to like at least hit you up and like or at least like even if it's not like even about music, like we could just talk about like how you been, like how's your day and shit like that. So like it's not it is that's how I roll. That's how I roll as far as like my marketing shit and like just really promoting my shit out. And I've got a couple like even like verified people who are like coming up in the industry have like checked my shit out and like I've seen my shit, which is even crazier because like sometimes like I'll check the like list and sometimes and I'll be like, oh shit, like this
person liked it.
Yeah like so it really is like it's like I really take that to heart, but it also motivates me to even go more because I don't look at my accomplishments as like just like oh yeah I did this, even though sometimes like I'll be like yeah like I did do that, but like
you have to take the small wins.
You have
to congratulate yourself.
100%. But I also think I like I said, like I don't try to brag about my accomplishments as far as that. I just like I said I just focus more on the end game because that's where because that's where like really my main focus is headed. So that's how I basically roll like that.
Yeah, you the Dreamchaser, bro. You absolutely Dreamchaser right now. How did you come up with that name?
I first started off with because I had a bunch of different names. Of course, I had Swagger Dagger, which I'm still keeping.
Swagger Dagger,
that's fire.
Yeah,
that's the OG shit. That's the OG shit. You know that, and it's still my name today. But I also got Millionaire Villain, Blessed Homie, and I think. Like it really just came to me. It was like Johnny the Dreamchaser. I was like, all right. So and that was like probably like like that and Swagger Daddy were my two most popular
Those
like
are-
names. Yeah, like those are like
That's
the two
it.
like
That's it. Yeah.
yeah, like the two names like that, you know, people like know me like, oh, Swagger Daddy or Johnny the Dreamchaser. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much like it really just like literally came to me, I can't lie. And then like it became like it became
out the
like
ether.
yeah, it was like after that people would just like dress me that as from now on. So it was crazy. I couldn't believe that.
And it rolls off the tongue pretty well too.
Yeah,
And it got
yeah.
your name in it and everything like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah,
And it fits like your personality. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
of
Everything
course.
you're about, it's so true to you. You know what I
appreciate
mean?
that.
You know
Yeah,
what
of
I mean?
course.
It's super true.
Of course.
Yeah, bro.
Of course.
How has you know, obviously you're mad good at networking, you know, on the IG and everything. How has that translated to, you know, real life and you know, people show you love, watch you perform and stuff like that?
I think for me, when I like it feels so good sometimes, like when people like when you see people that you know that have been really like been rocking with you from day one, like, and then they see you like, oh my god, like you was killing that shit, like that feels like that feels like a win for me. That really feels like a win for me, and I really like, and I think that also translates even into my music and shit, because like the way I see different when I see like different neighborhoods, I'm like damn, like, you know, if I like sometimes like I look out the window sometimes, I'm gonna be like, man, like, you know, or even like when I'm down to performing and shit, like I just see some like I could just choose like a person in the crowd, be like, man, like what would they want to see? Like what would they want to, like, you know what I mean? Like
put yourself in
yeah, like I try to like put them in their shoes, and like so I always just try to do my best to not only be authentically me as possible, but also like just try to like cater to the audience as well
and entertain.
and
you know,
entertain.
there,
So,
yeah, because they're there to
so-
see some entertainment.
yeah. So I just managed to like, you know, like bump the two heads together and just, you know, do what I do best, because, you know, I mean I just move how I move.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
yeah, man.
I'm glad we did this interview, because it's like, you know, well, I think a lot of people who watch this will like get a lot of knowledge, and like they have a lot to learn from
Yeah.
you. Like, you know, you really put out like a really positive vibe and everything.
That's
like
right.
that, yeah.
But I think also personally myself, I also have a lot to learn, because I'm still in a way I still feel like I'm a rookie in a sense,
No, of
because I'm always gonna be like that student that's always just eager to still keep like
Good, you gotta be a student.
doing, yeah, you know what I'm saying, because I think that for me is always gonna be like that important. That's always gonna be an important factor in my life, as far as like, you know, just making music, or even life, you know, because after God, I always put my friends and my family first, you know, and I just, you know, and I just really just do whatever I can to, you know, like just make people feel good, you know what I'm saying, through my music, or even just make people like think of hope again. I think personally for me. So, you know, I always, and even though sometimes like, you know, and once again, like there has been some times where I feel like I don't know if this is for me anymore, but I also think at the same time too, like I just gotta pick my pants up, and then I just gotta like I gotta rise to the occasion.
Yeah, keep it going, keep it moving. Yeah,
and keep it moving, because I feel like I feel like at this point it's too late for me to go back now. I mean, but I think it's definitely been such a incredible journey for me. You know what I'm saying? It's really just been like really been empowering for me, because like it shows to me that like I'm not, because some people could like, I feel like I'm just one of those guys that's like, if you wanted to get an opinion about me, you would get 10 different answers and shit. But like honestly, I just do whatever I can to, you know, and once again, like you can't please everyone, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like J. Cole said, you can't be everything to everybody. So, but I think for me personally, I think just moving ahead and just, you know, really inspiring, you know, some kid who may be seeing me on Instagram, you know, God forbid, I mean, God willing, I mean, and, you know, like he'll be like, you know, like that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. That's who I'm, like, that's who I'm trying to cater to.
Jeez, I'm feeling inspired. Right
Yeah,
now.
straight up. Who are some of your favorite artists that have you know, that you've reached out to on Instagram and, you know, met up with or had some conversations with to, you know, impact how you look at things in the industry and how you write?
I think this is one dude named Jonas. I think he's incredible. Like he's like a real like he's really talented, like to the highest degree. And like, you know, he follows me on Instagram. Sometimes like I'll, you know, and I like, of course I'll try to promote his shit. And sometimes like she'll check my shit out and be like, yo, you really can do this, man. Like you really got bars. So I think sort of like that verification knows I'm at least doing something right. But of course I've always got a long more to go. And I think at the end of the day, like whatever I can do to just, whatever I can do to just really just give out positive vibes through my music or even through my networking or even just like the basic quotes like I put in my stories every day, because I have like a whole list of like I have a whole highlight of like just quotes and shit, like that's what I just want to do, because I want to be able to at least anyone who's reading that let them know something, like it's never too late to go for your dreams, because I think like there's always room for improvement in any field. Anything you do.
Absolutely.
Anything you do in life. Like anything that you do, you can just like you can take it to the highest level and be you, because I've been through situations where I felt like it was over. Like, because my cousin passed away like a few months ago.
Oh, sorry.
No, I appreciate that. And it's like I just like even though that was the roughest time of my life where I really didn't, because I didn't really put it on social media, because I just wanted to be like keep it a little private. Like I just wanted to be like, but I think for the most part, I just try to keep. I think it's just important for me to keep myself grounded, and do the people I love. And I think where I come from definitely reflects who I am as far as a person, as a man, as an artist. So like every time I look in the mirror, I just feel like sometimes I still just feel like I still got this. Like I got this, and then like. And there are some days are better than others, but I think for the most part, it's important for me to just keep to stay strong for the people who in a way believe in me and also depend on me.
Absolutely.
And it's not easy, and it's definitely not easy. It's definitely not the easiest thing. Like there's times where I've wanted to break down, and just sometimes I'd be like, man, fuck this shit. Like, you know what I mean? But I think for the most part, the people who have guided me to this moment, like y'all. Like everyone who supported me to this moment, like they're the reason why I'm still saying I'm not like, you know what I mean, I'm just keeping, doing what I can to just prove to people that, I'm not just some regular kid like next door who's up to trouble and shit. Like people, because people see
you got something to prove, you got something to
I got
show,
something to prove.
Yeah, chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm always gonna keep, and I think, because when you think of me, like I don't pull gimmicks or shit like that. I don't do like trolls or I don't do trolling and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like I've never really done that. I mean, I used to do that maybe, but I was like just young and obnoxious and shit.
Like
but
some Xbox Live.
Yeah. I was like, no, for real. Like I'll be commenting on girls' pictures like, you ugly as hell. Like, for real. No, bro, for real. I was on everything, bro. Honestly, bro, on everything. Like I would be like, I was that kind of kid. Like I was just on some like. I was on some ruthless shit. Like I was just trolling and shit, but I was just a kid at the time. I was just a kid, but I think when I go
you
older,
live and learn, bro.
I live and learn.
You live and learn.
And I think it's just I just want to do what I can to keep going. And I think where I come from definitely reflects my work ethic. I think even as an artist, or even down to just what I do in the daily. And you know what I'm saying. So I think it's always important for me to just like not only enter this decade with confidence, but I think it's also important for me to just, do what I can to put my energy out to everyone and inspire.
Absolutely.
I think that's very important for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we've learned so much about like Johnny as an artist, and what inspires you, what drives you, and so what are some of your hobbies that you like to do that's not music? What's Johnny as a regular person?
Well, I mean, I go to the gym.
You like to work out a lot?
Yeah, I like to work out a lot. Even though I can't diet for shit, I can't lie. I don't diet. Like I'm the type to like me and my brother, my little brother, like we'll finish the gym and we'll pound it out. And I'll be like, you want to hit up 7-Eleven? All right, let's go. Let me get the car. I'm literally like that. It's literally like that. It's literally like that. So it's like, but I also do, I don't know, like, I just like to, sometimes I'm also lazy. Sometimes I just watch TV. Or like,
What you be watching?
Family Guy.
Family Guy?
Power.
Oh,
Power.
Are you caught up with it?
I haven't finished. I haven't finished the last season, but
Neither
I haven't
bro.
finished the last because I've been so much busy on other shit. Yeah, I watch a lot of like shit that just really like connects to me and shit. So, but yeah, and spending time with the family, I guess. I guess for the most part. But I also just try to so yeah, for the most part.
Word. What's like your favorite exercise to do at the gym? You be putting up a lot for the bench press?
Honestly, I'm still a starter on that shit. I can't lie, but I do cardio.
Okay.
Cardio. I do my core. I do my and I also try to. But I do like I the most I can do right now is like 45. This shows how much. That shows just how frail I am.
It's all good.
But like. But yeah, like I just try to do things a lot of different things.
Word.
You know what I mean? So
you did like track and stuff at South?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. That time I was damn near overweight at the time. I couldn't do shit.
Word.
Like I couldn't do shit. But I think but now I'm just like get myself right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to.
So you're getting yourself mentally, emotionally, physically right, 100%, and everything 100%. Like that, man.
To be the best you could be, full form Johnny Dreamchaser.
Yeah. But at the same time too, like my parents really like my family trying to get me to eat healthy. Like you gotta eat healthy and shit. Like my mom's like trying to give me like a green juice this morning. Oh, like right. I hated it. I hated it because like I'm just more like a junk food kind of dude. But I'm still like somehow I managed to like still keep like going to the gym and shit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, for the most part, I just try to keep myself. I just try to find the balance in between, but between my artist life and my personal life, and I just try to find that balance.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a struggle, man. Trying to 100%. Find that balance. It
really can. It really can. But for the most part, I think my support system definitely keeps me in check for the most part, and then it definitely keeps me grounded for like future endeavors and whatever I do in this lifetime or the next.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So,
what's like a full day in the life of Johnny?
For the most part, like
just a typical day.
Like a typical day, like sometimes I'll wake up like, even though like I'll be up like late, like the night before, like I'll be up until like 3. Cause I'm usually the last one in my family up, really. Mm-hmm. So I'm always just like writing or just like watching like random shit, and like I watch battles in between. I will be watching rap battles in between and shit, but then I'll wake up around like maybe 11. I might just make myself a breakfast. I'll make myself like eggs with mushrooms and different peppers and shit like that. Ooh. And with cheese. Ooh. Or sometimes I'll even go to the deli. I'll just like buy something from there and then shit. And and then I think maybe later in like the day, like I'll just write a little bit. Like I'll just write, or like sometimes I just try to go for a walk and like just try to meditate. Shit,
absolutely, yeah. It's so important to leave the house and
I need that space.
Yeah,
I need that space just
be
to
outside,
just to be alone, to be cool, to be with the, and I'll just go to the gym and then repeat. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, basically at this point.
You mentioned just now that you were watching battle rap videos. Who's some of your favorite battle rappers, bro?
My number one is DNA.
Oh,
DNA. Listen. When he did the battle versus Disaster in that third round, like if you saw the battle, like that third round, the first time I ever heard him like really go crazy, I think when he was versing Ill Will, and then he was just like, he had the whole like the end of this third round, he was like the end of his first round, he had that crowd going crazy. I was like, oh shit, and like I kept checking him out, and then like when he and like the third round when he was like freestyling the whole shit, like I was like, okay, this guy's my favorite. And I love a lot of it varies a lot. So like from the PGs, from to the big cats, New Jersey Twerk, Sue Surf, Tay Rock.
Daylight?
Yeah, Daylight. Yeah. Daylight though. Daylight, he's funny as hell.
He's funny as hell.
He's funny as hell.
Yeah, he's
like
different.
even like when I saw this nigga on Toast for Water, I remember this nigga came through with like literally a cap and fucking boxers and shit and fucking boots. Oh my god, this nigga's flopping on the fucking bed and shit. Yo, like
you ever seen his DJ Vlad interviews?
Oh yeah.
Yo, bro. What is that series,
I
bro?
look at this
What
thing. I
is
say,
that
yo, this
series,
is so
bro? What?
And I remember like there was one video. I think he was like it was him, and then like it was like he dressed up as a bitch and shit. Yo, and this nigga was like, and this is like, listen, you know, you see this nigga next to you. I'm letting y'all know he like you never gonna see him again. And then the nigga and then he's next to himself like prove me gone. Put like the ratchet type shit. Like prove me gone, bitch. Prove me gone.
He be cross dressed, and just in that interview, so he be cross dressing. He be putting on makeup. He be doing some.
I said like this nigga's crazy. No, I said yo, this nigga's crazy. And I think I remember one time there was a battle. I don't know if you remember this, but like this nigga like yo, he was literally like I think he heard like a crazy bar from Averb and shit. And then as soon as like everyone went crazy, this nigga's flopping on the stairs like a fucking fish.
Oh,
this nigga's like this, like nigga's like, this nigga's flopping like a fucking fish out of the water. I'm like, yo, this nigga's out of here, bro.
You ever seen the Absol Daylight battles?
Oh no, I never saw that.
Oh yeah, they go hard, bro. You should check them out.
exist?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they go hard.
know.
They go hard.
Yeah, because like I don't watch like every battle, but I would try to watch as much as I can.
Just tune in a little bit.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think battle rap is such a great place right now because like there was almost a time where like people almost are like, oh, it's gonna be like a dying sport in like 2-3 years.
Super stagnant.
But then I think Smack, like when Smack came out, that was because I first like started checking them out when I was like this was like early high school days and shit. So I was like, I'd be checking them out on UFF and like 106 in Park, and then like it's like Smack. Like for me, I think Smack made rap important. And then like, you know, you had a King of the Dot, Don't Flop, and now there's like a new generation of like, you know, fucking RBE, Rare Breed Entertainment. Then you got fucking you got fucking Gates of the Garden, Guardians of the Culture, shit like that. A lot of different, and it's like they're rebuilding and rebranding what battle rap really is.
Yeah, the community.
And then,
absolutely.
and then it's like for the fact they can get like they can still get millions and millions of views and still like, and that shows me and I think that's really such a dope thing about that piece of battle of rap, because I really like seeing like when cats just go in and they just kill it, you know, and it's just really dope to see how it all just pertains together, because in a way it's like a sport in a sense.
Absolutely,
it really is.
Absolutely.
I think it's a sport that doesn't fully get recognized, and I think it's always like, and now they're doing like different venue. They're selling out venues, fucking millions of views, like views
they're
and
going in on
views.
this. Yeah,
they're going in. And like sometimes when I see matchups, I'm like I'll get alerts and I'll see like matchups going on, and I'll be like, oh shit, like I'm gonna check that out. So it's definitely important for like, I think it's definitely at a great place right now, if you ask me personally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I gotta tune in, bro. I haven't watched any videos in a while.
Yeah, but it's amazing. They're amazing. Like just seeing like the way it all goes down and shit. Like different, like sometimes like I kill to be in those same rooms.
Yeah.
Like just
you
to
gonna
like
be there eventually.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Like I would kill, like I would like just to be around those guys.
Yeah.
Like it'd be crazy. And I think that's sort of where I sort of get my, in a way, like it's also where I get my shit lyrically from, but also like just like mentally, like sometimes because
just to build it up.
Yeah, like just to build it up, and like and when I be like and like when they be like when I like. Because when my brother's filming me and shit, sometimes like I feel like I'm battle rapping myself, but but it's on a beat and shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and it's on a whole different level for me. So
absolutely. Do you have any advice or any closing remarks for the future generation, the next Johnny Dreamchaser, the next up and coming artist?
Definitely patience.
Patience
definitely is important.
It's honestly in the top 3 things that you need to have and experience when it comes to this artistic hustle, bro.
100%. You know, get it how you can. You know what I mean? Get it any way how you can, because, because sometimes you never know who's who, and you never know who's gonna be listening or who's gonna be tuning in. So
absolutely,
get it however you can. You know what I mean? And don't let like petty comments and shit like bring you down, because I was actually watching an Eminem interview actually yesterday with King Crooked, and then he literally like said something that was so like receptive to me, like people diss what they can't do, and I was like, oh shit, like that really hit me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, shit.
Word.
Like that was like real like on some preachy shit. So I was like, so I think for the most part, just keep going and keep building and keep perfecting your craft however you can, because I think that's the most important thing. And write whatever comes to your heart and whatever it means to you. Put it out, because you never know how it can be received. Because of like Old Town Road can be one of the most hated, one of the most worst songs, but then become one of the biggest hits,
number one,
literally number one. And then but then like you never know what you could be like, whatever you have, it could spark like all it takes is one match to start a whole wildfire. Bro.
Yeah, no, it's true, bro. It's so true. Wow, it's so true.
All it takes one match and just a little bit of hope, just to let the rest. Wow. Let it just be like a domino effect from here on out. So.
That was a very profound statement right there. Yeah. Like, wow, that really stuck out. Facts. Yeah. All right, Johnny the Dreamchaser, y'all.
Lunar Space, appreciate y'all, my brothers.
It's been real.
My brothers. Appreciate you
so much.
Thank you.
Johnny Dreamchaser.
March
10th, 7 o'clock.
Nassau Community College.
Catch him there.
You know the vibes. Let's get it.
Space.
Okay. When niggas running always over, so don't get the call. When niggas want a piece of the profit, I'm in their pockets and turn the remix to rock star, the only option. We got people working everywhere from your location. A couple Christian doctors and Muslims and some Haitian. Some working for a degree, others are cloud chasing. Then you got niggas like me, I had to be the greatest. Then you got niggas like us, I had to make a statement. Take expectations, expand them out right above the payment, and let my plan push my own book of revelation. And let my story be elevated for generations. People always show us up because we lyrically smooth. Always hold all back and make the illest moves. I'm trying to shake my honor to an infinity pool. And now you know who wrote this verse. I said